Hello, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron, and here today with a special guest partner in crime. That would be our newest coworker on the CropLife Media Group, Addie Shaffer. Addie, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you joined us, I think, back in April, correct?
Yep, about midway through April, so about a little over 2 months now.
So I know you've been having a lot of contact with a bunch of folks in the marketplace, but for those of our viewers who may not know you, if you could give us a little of your background and talk about how you're involved with the agricultural world on a personal level.
Absolutely. So I'm an Ohio State grad. I graduated in 21, and I actually come from the livestock side of the agricultural industry. Switching to the crop side has been pretty cool to see a different point of view on it, I guess. So since then, I've been in sales in agriculture, and then I joined the Meister team to kind of take over a lot of Jim Maddox's accounts after his retirement. And I've been now involved in the CropLife Iron, a lot of Tech Hub involvement, and Maggie, and most recently in the Women in Ag Tech, which is something cool that Laura has been very helpful with. So that's a really exciting program to see growing. And then, now I live on a crop farm. So it's cool to see a different side of things, living on the grower side of things. Now I deal with more the retailer side of things. So having a little bit of background on that has helped as well.
I know you and myself were actually recently took a trip together. We went to Indianapolis, Indiana to visit with our friends at Corteva. And I know you joined me on that trip. We had a great meeting with folks at Corteva, which I've talked about in previous videos. But I know that, kind of growing up around crops, right, in the family, you had some observations about how crops looked in the field across Ohio, Central Ohio, and Indiana. I know we were talking a little bit on an earlier video about, how the crops were looking in general across the country. But what were your observations of what you saw in Indiana and Ohio?
Yeah, absolutely. So around here, these look really good. Pretty much everyone has a little bit of everything in different stages of the game. So going over to Indiana, it was kind of along the same lines. You have some stuff that was definitely planted early that looks really good, but then some of that later stuff has had a rough start, which the lack of rain and the heat wave that we're in right now hasn't helped with that. But we've also had some bad storms come through here, but things look good. And these random pop-up showers that we've been getting has definitely helped during this miserable heat that we're enduring at the moment. But things are all over the board. So I'm curious to see how they look here the next month or two.
Yeah, I know here I'm more north of you in Ohio, and I know up here, they always say the knee high by the 4th of July for the corn, and most of the corn looks pretty good in our area. But again, as you say, we're the last week or so we've been in this heat dome, so we'll see what toll that might take on the crops. But so far, so good. Fingers crossed things will go well as we move along. But hey, you mentioned summer. Of course, you're going to be with us at Tech Hub Live, where the Women in Ag Tech are taking place. But another show coming up mid-August, actually, the Midwest Ag Industries Exposition, also known as the Maggie Show in Bloomington, Illinois. And I know if you could share with our viewers, you were there in Bloomington, Illinois, and you found a restaurant that you were raving about. So I think you maybe want to share that information with our viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple weeks ago, I took a trip out to Iowa for a wedding of friends out there, and we just so happened to stop in Bloomington. We had some extra time. I'm usually no stop on road trips unless it's absolutely necessary, but we stopped in Bloomington and ate at the Brass Pig, and it was very good. So I'm looking forward to revisiting when I'm out there for Maggie there in August.
Very good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It was a barbecue place, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I know. Every now and then I get a hankering for good barbecue. I haven't thought of Bloomington as a place to find it, but now I know better. So I'll be checking out the Brass Pig while we're there at Maggie. And who knows? Maybe some of you folks who are going to see us at Maggie, maybe you can join us for a dinner at the Brass Pig.
Excited to meet a lot of these clients that I've been working with in person at both Maggie and Tech Hub. So we can do a lot through the computer these days, but nothing beats a face-to-face interaction.
Well, very good, very good. Well, hey, Addie, of course, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. And if you could stick around, of course, we'll be going through the rest of the program. But with the viewers, I have a couple of tidbits to share. I guess we'll call this under the heading of Cooperatives news. The first thing to note is that earlier this month, our friends at Growmark, based there in Bloomington, Illinois, a surprise, we're talking about that again. They actually signed an agreement where they're going to be acquiring a agrochemical manufacturing company called Agroform that's based in St. Louis, Missouri. They're expected to close that deal at the end of June, so we're coming up very close to that. And the Growmark folks said that this purchase will help them to grow efficiently in these product lines while providing the opportunity to produce proprietary product offerings in the future. So again, this is, for the bigger ag retailers in the marketplace, the Wilbur Ellis's and the Helena's and the Nutrients, of course. They've been doing some manufacturing in their business models for years and years. So apparently Growmark has decided to get involved in this game as well. So it'll be good news for the Growmark folks and everyone in the Growmark and FS systems that they cater to. Well, and then the other bit of news, CropLife 100, of course, companies, Growmark is one of those. This isn't involved two CropLife 100 companies, I say yet, but probably they will be big enough. We found out also that Farmers Cooperative Elevator Company of Garden Plain, Kansas, have voted to merge with Kanza, Kanza Cooperative Association, based in Iuka, Kansas. That merger will take place on September 1st. They're going to go by the Kanza name, but again, Addie, these two companies, neither have made the top 100 up until now, but merging like this and being big players in the Kansas marketplace, I imagine that, well, I will warn the folks there at Kanza Cooperative. You'll be getting a CropLife 100 form from me this year. So please fill it in, and chances are you'll be making the CropLife 100.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few mergers lately, especially recently around here, how we have Keystone.
Yeah, there's been a lot of activity on the cooperative side when it comes to mergers this year. So this is another in a string, so we're seeing more and more of those take place. So, well, Addie, since you're here, put you on the hot seat. Time for everybody's favorite segment of the program. Time for Fun with Numbers. Okay, so how this works is I give you a number, and then I give you 4 options for what that number represents. So you have to pick the correct option if you can. And I'll let you know at the end if you're right or not. If you're right, you get bells, balloons from our graphics guy. If you get it wrong, you get a buzzer. So, your number, Miss Addie, actually it's a range. 6 out of 18. Okay, so 6 out of 18 is the number range. So, Addie, is 6 out of 18, is that A, the number of corn growing states currently experience drought conditions? Is it B, the number of soybean growing states currently experiencing drought conditions? Is it C, the number of cotton growing states currently experiencing drought conditions? Or is it D, the ratio of margaritas to beer/soft drinks at our dinner with Cortevas folks during our visit?
I wish it was D, but we kept it pretty mild that night.
So your options: corn, soybean, or cotton. Basically.
Wow, that's tough. I'm gonna have to go with A.
You are correct. Yes, indeed, ma'am. Yeah, this came from the folks at USDA talking about crop progress, and they were saying that of the 18 corn-growing states, that 6 of them, unfortunately, are experiencing drought conditions at the moment, and they have variables of drought from D1 to D3. There are 3 states that are considered drought 1, D1, that's North and South Dakota and Nebraska. In the D2 category are Kansas and Colorado, and only 1 state, D3, which is unfortunately Texas. So, yeah, I know. So, fortunately, the folks in those 6 states are maybe having a little more difficulty with this extreme heat. Really going to be negatively impacting their corn come fall. But, at least, the other 12 states, apparently, things are going a little bit better, including our home state of Ohio. So,
yeah, like I said, we've been lucky to at least get a few pop-ups here and there. So it's something's better than nothing for us right now. So we'll take what we can get.
Amen. All right. Well, Miss Addie, thanks for joining us on this edition of CropLife Retail Week. Viewers, you get to meet Addie. Wave at everybody, Addie. And again, please, say hi to her in person when we're at the trade shows in July and August. And on behalf of myself and everyone else at CropLife Media Group, thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you again next week. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.